God's awesome creation, the amazing and smart squirrel. I live a few blocks from a Dollar General store here in Saginaw, Michigan. And this morning I had a hankering for a Diet Coke, so I walked on over to the store. On my way back, carrying 2 yellow plastic bags, I spied a squirrel by the sidewalk, chattering away and seemingly staring me down. Squirrels are really cute, and they are very smart, and as I passed him, I chattered back, but I kept on going. I went a little ways, and I turned around to see him following me, and as I stood there trying not to laugh, he came right up to the bags I was carrying, put his front feet on one of them, and looked at me almost as if to say, "Hey, mister, you got anything in there for me to eat?" God has, in my opinion, given to all animals the capacity to befriend us. Let's take a look at the fascinating squirrel family. Plainly put, they are bushy-tailed rodents with wide eyes. Their family tree is quite interesting to consider. Let's see. We have the flying squirrels, tree squirrels, chipmunks, antelope squirrels, mantle squirrels, ground squirrels, prairie dogs, and my favorite, the groundhogs and woodchucks. I have found many Indian artifacts by looking in the dirt kicked out while the groundhog was preparing its home in the ground. Incredibly, I once found over 1,000 late woodland Indian pottery shards in a groundhog burrow up near Oscoda, Michigan. Squirrels are found throughout the world except Australia, Malaysia, and South America. They all feed on nuts, fruits, buds, grain, and most will at times eat insects, bird eggs, and other animal food, a fairly healthy diet to be sure. All squirrels except the flying variety are active by day, and during the extreme cold, some species hibernate. Sometimes they are considered pests, and in the mid-1800s, the damage they made to crops in the fertile Ohio Valley forced the government to tax property owners a number of squirrel scalps in proportion to their land holdings. And in the Civil War, soldiers from that area were called the squirrel hunters due to their skill as marksmen from practicing on hunting squirrels. Africa is the home to the largest member of the squirrel family, the giant tree squirrel, and that is an incredible 3 feet long. Asia is home to the smallest, which is about the size of a shrew, which is pretty small. The squirrels where I live are golden brown, some are gray, and a few are black. Some species in Africa have brilliant colors, with green, yellow, orange, and red, and others have ringed tails. Southeast Asia also have many colorful species, and some are a combination of as many as 6 colors. The fox squirrel is common in the eastern United States and lives in or at the edge of open forests. It has unusual coloring of a yellow tan speckled with black. And the gray squirrel is found in the same area but would rather be in the thicker woods. They both build nests in trees where they spend much of their time, and they are both popular as small game animals. The red squirrel can be mean-tempered and destructive. They are sometimes called pine squirrels or the chicory, and they live in the great pine forests of North America. The small tree squirrel that measures about a foot in length and is well known for its scolding chatter, like the one I told you about that I encountered this morning, and the characteristic flicking of its furry tail. It quite often feeds on pine cone seeds, as also did Euell Gibbons, for those of you who remember him, a nature nut from the 1970s. Flying squirrels are gliding little bundles of fur with an attitude. I had one as a pet many years ago, years ago now I should say, and frequently got bit when it was feeding time. They actually have a thin, hairy membrane along the sides of their bodies between their fore and hind legs and their tail. And when they leap, they spread these wings, if you will, and glide from one tree to another. And quite often, they climb the next tree and repeat that same process. They actually use their tail as a rudder for turning and to help them land softly and in a head-up position on a tree trunk. The flying squirrels of North America are nocturnal, meaning that they are only active after dark. They are about the size of a large rat, and they feed on nuts, fruits, and seeds, and they often live in woodpecker holes that have been abandoned. The flying squirrel of southern Asia can attain lengths of a phenomenal 3 feet. Closely related to squirrels are the beavers, woodchuck, prairie dogs, ground squirrels, and chipmunks. These little striped varmints, the chipmunks, are extremely destructive, but gosh, they're so gosh darn cute. Well, so this closes our look at one of God's remarkable animals that share this big old planet with man. I hope you've enjoyed this and that you will like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any programs coming up on my favorite channel, the Dennis Morrison channel. Oh yeah, that's me. Thanks.